let's move on to the batting. Let's talk a bit about openers and that opening spot. Um, Corbs, I gonna let you take this one, for obvious reasons. Right now, we are struggling in terms of finding an opener to partner Craig. Uh, is it time to move past John Campbell? Is it as simple as that, or is it as Kyle mentioned earlier that there's simply no one else in the wing kind of knocking at the door or even walking up the path towards the door, and that kind of puts us in a fairly awkward position. I mean, I've even heard calls for one Kyle Corbin to come out of retirement and save West Indies in this opening position.
I would second that.
So is it a case of we've tried Campbell, um, he's not cutting it, move on, try somebody else? How do you view it? What's your view as an opener, as a player, as a lover of West Indies cricket?
Well, if you mention me in our conversation right now, we're really struggling, boy. Like historically, I think something that we miss. Let's go back. How many great opening batsmen have West Indies produced? And I mean great opening batsmen. How many really good opening batsmen have we really produced?
We got three.
Yeah, about three. Yeah.
We got three, boy.
Greenidge and Haynes. We view Greenidge and Haynes separately. They're not one.
Yeah.
So Greenidge, Haynes,
Yeah.
Chris Gill.
Yeah, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Craig, who just passed 4,000 test runs, and 9 test hundreds, averages about 30, 33 or close to 34.
Yeah.
Probably go 30, I think 34 by now because he had a pretty good last test match. So historically, we have not produced good openers. So it's not a problem that we are now going to highlight. I think now is the time for our for the persons who orchestrate the cricket and cricket camps, cricket academies, however few they may be, to just try to focus now on opening batsmen throughout the Caribbean. And I mean, it's more to just having a batting camp. Let's have a specific opening batsman camp. Let's start to get some of these opening batsmen playing outside of the Caribbean. Whether it's whatever attachment you can find. Let's have them playing in different conditions because we know the most difficult time to bat is with the ball. Or I mean, guess when the ball reversing. But I personally felt that opening batting is one of the hardest things to do. Imagine fielding for 2 days and a half and you gotta go back, or 2 days and 3/4 and then go back in the last session. You understand of day two. Imagine the first morning the pitch has so much moisture and you gotta go see off that new ball. And then the first ball there, just touch off a length, touch your gloves. The number 3 batsman, even though he's facing the second ball of the day, he knows, you know what? Let me be mindful of that ball that's going to jump. You don't get it first time. So it's always going to be the most difficult job, I feel, along with wicket keeping. So why not have specific opening batsman camps where you can work on and it's still individual. I always believe in individual work. Everybody's not going to come in and bat the same way and play the same way and that kind of thing. It's just to come and find out what type of player are you. What type of player are you comfortable being? Because I don't think, and there's no bash on coaches, I think that we've had so many naturally aggressive players, entertaining players, and we try to team them rather than try to help them be more selective or try to help them be themselves, be your naturally aggressive self, but just be more selective. Understand that today may not be the day to hit, or today may not be the day to play those big drives, but the pitch is bouncing, let's cut. You understand? So let me help you develop your style of playing. Because look at the dominant openers in the world today. David Warner is a fantastic opening batsman in all formats. He's a dasher of the ball. if the first ball of the day is a half volley, he's going to drive it. Alistair Cook is different. He's gonna he's gonna nudge. He is as effective as David Warner in terms of the rate of runs, the multi-test hundreds, the scores, etc. So why not let's have opening batsman camps and then find attachment for these openers to go outside of the Caribbean to try to improve the skills. Because historically we have not produced very good opening batsmen. After Craig, I think the next opening batsman, we have Roy Fredericks, we have Shane Campbell. And then if you're going to be critical of the Johns and the Powells of this era, where DRS, then we have DRS that's going to help take away from batsmen in this era. Then we can't be that critical of these players and then say and I don't want to sound as I'm bashing anybody at all. I just see this is just how I see it. How about helping these fellas, develop their skills? And I think that's what we need to focus on. The question was raised, who's next in line? I think what West Indies is going to either do is either go back to Shea, who I personally still think he has some kind of deficiencies with the red ball, especially the moving ball. Who knows? Hopefully he has improved. I think Shea's somebody who works really hard at his game, somebody who's full of confidence, and I think he will come back and struggle whenever he does. But if not Shea, then who? You're going to ask somebody to come up the order? I mean, we got to start asking ourselves these questions. And then, what about the opening batsmen to come? What message are we sending to those opening batsmen? That anybody can come and do your job? Which again, as I mentioned before, is one of the hardest jobs. I think we now have to focus in on our opening batsmen, focusing on the best ones or the ones that, at least representing the territories, have the territories work, every single day on them. I want to be an aggressive player. CY was an aggressive player. Graham Smith was not. Graham, not Dwayne. Graham Smith. Not. You understand? But two effective players. So and looking at John's dismissal in this series, John was caught behind every time. Caught the well ball that mile from in that good area. So I think it's a matter of, for me, it's confidence. I don't think that he ain't a good as Beatties would say, he ain't a good. You understand me? He had to be good to be there because I watched it. You understand me? I wasn't there. I watched him on TV, so he had to do something good. So for me, I can see a deficiency right there. So are we going to say, recycle John, send John back to Kingston, and then let the next person come and fall straight into the same trap? Are we going to say, look, you know what? All right, I may drop you for the next series, but I can't discard you because you had to do something good to get here. Let's look at your deficiencies. Let's look at the way you get. No, you had a taste of it. You had a real good taste of it. You had a long run. Let's see now how we can help you improve your game and how your game can then fit with Craig's. And it doesn't have to be John, it's whoever else is coming in. We need to start developing our opening batsmen. The same way we need to develop our opening bowlers. Because let's look at it. You can open the bowling and you can bowl with the ball is swinging at fuller length. As the ball get older, you want to pull that length back a little bit because the ball isn't swinging as much now. Then you want to use the crease, use angles, set different fields. The same thing with opening batsmen. I think that if you're going to pitch the pitch flat, you play all the shots you want. The pitch move, you see balls moving around, you get a little tighter, be more selective. It's the same concept. But I think we got to help develop. And we can't just sit there and say, this body not good if he fails, but then this body come. Because let's look at it. I think Kyle's success, this kind of going off a little bit, but Kyle's success is, for me, just pure confidence. Just pure, I don't care who you are, I am confident. But Kyle had a few streaky chances. If those chances were taken, would we then say, because we would not have gone to see how good he really is or if he can perform. So now I think that once you instill our confidence in our opening batsmen, in particular because this is subject matter, once we instill our confidence in our opening batsmen, help develop the skills, help develop the mental skills as well, I think then we can see a lot more coming through, and then a lot more players being confident with the way they play and approach the opening batting. Because John historically is an attacking player, I'm sure you're not going to see David Warner. I mean, we saw it in Ashes, last Ashes series, but I'm sure you're not going to see that again.
Right, very valid points, Corbs. I much agree with basically all of what you said, and I think the other guys, based on the nods of approval, also did. But I want to ask another question here quickly. Kurt, do you think that this problem of openers is unique to us? Corbs mentioned some guys like Alistair Cook and Graham Smith, Sewag even, Chris Gale, Gordon Greenidge, all retired. Is it
Exactly.
is it,
Exactly. That's the same
yeah,
way we're saying. Same thing we were saying.
right? Is it a problem unique to West Indies, or can we just cut Campbell some slack?
I really think we ought to be honest. I mean, at the end of the day, it is not a unique problem to West Indies cricket. It's actually quite worldwide. If you think about successful openers around the world, Warner comes to mind. Karuna Ratne was consistent for a little while. Then there is, there.
Yeah,
Then you have to kind of
exactly.
scratch your
My
head a
point
little bit,
is
right?
exactly.
Tom Latham from New Zealand, and then Aidan Markram here, Dean Elgar has been pretty consistent. But truthfully, right, it has been a problem throughout the world. I don't know if it's a situation that the pitches just are lively at the startup, or whatever, the balls are different, whatever the conditions are different. Opening has been very, very difficult in these last few years. So having said that, we would definitely like to have an opener who could come in and perform well. But as Corv said, he made a lot of valid points there. And the truth is, if we get rid of Campbell, I'm quite sure that the next player who comes automatically into the system right now, ceteris paribus, with nothing else being done, that we will just be on the same conveyor belt. We really need to pay a special focus into the opening batsman's role, and I do love that idea of a specific camp for opening batsmen, so that we can really look at having them develop their games. When you think about the next opening batsman to come in, we've identified in the A team, if my memory serves correctly, Jeremy Salazano and Shane Mosley. And no disrespect to the guys, but right now that may not inspire the most confidence. So we really ought not to be too hard on Campbell. And my personal view is sometimes we do have to think about, we have Bravo in as the next batsman in line. Maybe we might have to fit our best batsmen into the team and perhaps get one of those guys to fill the role for now.
Yeah, I think while we all agree with Corb's points in totality, whether it be the academy specific for openers or just focusing on that one opener and making him and allowing him to be the best version of himself instead of trying to change him into something he's not. Um, I still want to play devil's advocate here a bit because we know how it gets in the Caribbean. We know how Caribbean people look at these things. John Campbell playing, he ain't scoring the runs. I want somebody else, and I want it now. Right? That's how people
But
in the
the thing
Caribbean
is, the
look
thing
at it.
is, I agree. I don't think he should play the next series. That's not what I'm saying. But I from history shows, you play, you get a run, and then you fail, and then boom, you're out of the system in totality. I would like then that if and this is why I mentioned the last time, the need for academies, the need for structured training. So when John leaves, he should not have to go back to Jamaica setup. You understand me? There should be an academy with John, because the level under the senior team should be that academy or that A team setup. I don't think that because you feel you should go all the way back down to the bottom. You can't be good today and poor tomorrow. So I think that that's the need for that setup now. So whenever this series is done, everybody disperse to go get your rest. Then you come back into training. You may not make the team, but let's help develop you, because one, you have the experience already. It's gonna be hard to bring in a new guy who hasn't had much experience playing at that level to come a partner Craig, who's already now getting himself back together, and then has the burden of captaincy as well. You know, um, so I think that we need to be very careful and not be recycling players. But if not, we're gonna just keep bringing in a fresh player every time, a fresh player every time.
Right. I much agree, but this leads exactly to where it was going. So Kyle, um, who? That's the question. Who? If we do not play John Campbell in the next series, then who? Is it Shane Mosley that we've identified as the man having gone to Bangladesh? Is it Shandapal Hemraj? Is it Jeremy Solizano? Is it Evan Lewis? Is it Sheho? Who does it?
I think we got a couple of options, man. I don't think that Shanapur Hemraj, I like Shanapur Hemraj for the one-day game, but I don't know if he's ready for the red ball game as yet. He hasn't really played much. I don't think he's played much A team or I see he's whatever red ball cricket. But if it isn't Campbell, I think that we Shea is probably the next best person in line, as painful as that is for me to say. I don't think Salazano is there ready either. We saw Mosley in Bangladesh. We saw he struggled a little bit with Mustafizur. He had a little bit of issues with the ball swinging and that sort of stuff. So I don't think that he's quite ready as yet either. And my dark horse that I can throw into the mix is Joshua De Silva. He has a little bit of experience opening batting. He plays in the ball down the order a little bit. Just as a dark horse, just as a
Are we in danger of doing to Joshua De Silva what happened to Sheho?
That's exactly what it would be. I think that's exactly what it would be. But
I think that would be unfair.
Yeah,
that'd be unfair.
Yeah, I don't like Shea up there though. I ain't gonna lie. I don't like Shea. I don't like the idea of Shea opening batting.
Right.
Is it the seven with the gloves? Sorry.
Huh?
Go ahead, Kurt.
No, I was just gonna ask if you mean the silver opening and having the gloves.
That's a good point too, because I don't think it's practical to do both.
No,
right. If the silver opens, I think you're automatically saying Shea coming back into the side, or another keeper. But
so
yeah,
I guess
Dorich is still there.
But we know Dorich struggling against the fast bowling. We've seen that Dorich struggling against the pace, so I don't think that.
When you say struggle against the pace, exactly what do you mean?
Struggle against the pace in that I don't want to say running from the ball. I want to say that. But it seems like whenever a bowler comes in and starts to bowl the short stuff, they start to get hit a little bit. You know what I mean? And he's kind of tense up. So
this kind of goes into something else I was mentioning. So then, if we think that Dorich is not good, or not good, let me not say not good, has a little bit of deficiency with sharp pitch bowling, fast hostile sharp pitch bowling, then what do we do? Because the public's perception is, man, he running for the ball, he shouldn't play anymore. The Silver came and he let the part.
Yeah.
So we done with Dorich. I disagree.
Yeah,
I disagree wholeheartedly.
I am with you there. I think we all with you there, Corbs. But again, the question still now comes back to finding that solution. Should the selectors decide that we are going to rest John Campbell? What happens at the top of the order?
Yeah, I can be honest with you. Sure. I think that Campbell can start next series. I'm gonna be honest.
No. No, I can't.
It will be a real tough decision. If he can drop Shea, if he can rest Shea, say Shea, take your time, wait till you're ready and come back. You can't come and bring back as an opener. In my opinion. It can't come and bring back as an opener.
I somewhat agree with you, Kyle. And this is why I keep asking the question.
but how many opening batsmen were selected for the West Indies squad? Only two?
Two.
Yeah.
So if John had pulled up, or Craig had pulled up, who do you think would have opened the batting?
I have no idea, but based on the
I feel
fact
like
that Blackwood
Bravo.
went, based on the fact that Blackwood went at 3, he might have had to step up. I don't know what to tell you, Corbin. I really don't know.
I think they're gonna go with shit. I think so. And you remember the President's 11 game before he opened the batting and got
yeah,
60.
he did.
So that for me is telling a very strong story. That look, we are lacking opening batsmen. We open the batting in white ball cricket. I hope that they would have given him some batting program or something to come home to work on in terms of his technique. And hopefully he has improved that. And it's a conversation that they would have had. I said, look, this is where we see you fitting in now, because I think, in all fairness, Warner has the number 3 spot. Calmeers, and if you look on the bench, Darren is to come in that 4-5-3-4-5 position. So if you're going to get back into the team, this is the only spot available. The ball's in your court. I think that he would take it, because then, if not having played that much competitive cricket due to COVID, we can't go to the guys who were 18 and say, "Oh, you scored runs last 2 years when we had 18."
Yeah,
I have to go with Shea, who's been playing competitive cricket, who just had success in one day, who just got a 60 odd. I have to go with Shea.
who's the next test series?
Australia.
Ooh.
I think that series is going to that's going to ask so many questions.
Let's use the word highlight. That
Come on,
series
man.
is going to highlight
Highlight.
a lot of areas. We will have some
Highlight,
very
yeah.
entertaining
We have
podcasts.
so much to talk about after that series. I think
Definitely.
Right.
But yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I really enjoyed our discussion. We are going to have to go back to the drawing board ourselves and try to come up with an idea of who we think will open this batting. Corbin is set on Shea. Kyle is saying, he didn't really like it. But I think, if not Shea, then I go with all mode again and ask who. So,
but let us all have more predictions. I predicting shit.
yeah.
Somebody, come on.
All right. Put your money where your mouth is. Corb says Shea. Kyle, are you sticking with your prediction that John Campbell opens next series?
We got any cricket between this series and next series?
I am not sure that 4-day may or may not be happening due to COVID. So it's highly unlikely, and given the fact that our players are going to England, is unlikely that there's any cricket in the region. So what say you? Quick prediction.
As a man that stick with my guns, you know what I mean?
Yes, I like it. Kurt.
Campbell, man. Campbell going. If they ask me, I would do it too, but Campbell going.
Kurt,
I think all signs pretty much point to Shea, who will be the next lane in terms of the opening batsman. It's not my personal option. I know that when Shea had the opportunity before, and I granted he has a lot more experience now, right? But I know that it was not his traditional position, having spent time at 3 and 4. I would prefer him not to. I would probably go with pick the six best batsmen. Ask one of them to do the job at this point in time.
But what we asking you now?
What if nobody says I will do it? You the select. No.
I can be very controversial. They would say with Darren Bravo, you've been waiting in lane to get into this West Indies team. A vacancy has been afforded to you. Please go and fill that vacancy. Do you want to play for the West Indies cricket team or not? Have that hit.
Bold. So we got Bravo, we got Campbell, we got Shea. Again, for me, my gut says it will be Shea, but just to play devil's advocate here, Shane Mosley opens against Australia.
Fair enough.
Okay.
He's been the one next in line, so going on that thought process, he's the one that plays played in the A team, went to Bangladesh, opened with Shea in the President's 11 game. Unfortunately, scored runs in none of those matches that I just mentioned, but he's the next man in line, so I can't overlook him. So my gut says Shea, but for the purposes of being different here, I go in with Shea mostly. So we'll see. We have a lot to talk about. We'll be back obviously before the next series starts. So stay tuned, guys. Remember to subscribe, remember to like, remember to share the video with a friend. And we will be back discussing West Indies cricket and other cricket around the world as well. So stay tuned to us. We'll be here. Looking forward to sharing with you. All right. So until next time, we're out.